Welcome back to SOS. I'm BA. I've got something really cool for you guys today. This is called the Rogan tool. And I requested to get this without, because they come in different configurations. And you can get them with the point, without the point. And they have like measurements and all kinds of different effects that they add to these. And I just wanted the Rogan tool because, and I didn't want it wrapped. I wanted to wrap it myself because I didn't want to use just standard paracord. I wanted to use a type of survival cord, something that has snare wire. It has actual Kevlar cord in it as well. This is 750-pound cord, and it also has fire cord, fishing line, all that. It's a lot of useful stuff. So I wanted to wrap it in that, and that's what I've wrapped it with. I'm going to show you guys how to wrap one of these handles nice and neat like this. Now, this thing has the EOD name, kind of like explosive ordnance disposal or something like that. And most people would say EOD like end of days, or, you know, you call it what you want, but people do use this in armed forces. They use it for different things. You can use it for digging. It's a great pry bar. It's great to bust windows, pry things open without breaking your knife. This is a reinforced, very tough steel that just is meant to do certain things. You have these types of tools that it's like a knife. Knife is used to cut, slice things open, and you can also put a razor's edge on this thing if you wanted to. Most of this one here can be used for batoning. I want to show you that too. Just be patient with me. Use this thing for digging, pulling up landmines if you needed to, and other little things. But it's great for jimmying things open, and it's great for prying and scraping. And it's got a nice scraping edge too. So you can cut with it, and you can put a sharper edge on it. And I just want to be able to incorporate that into some kind of survival sheath. And here on the channel, I don't like making those little fold up type things. I like making those things that are just crazy, like kind of like this guy over here, like this crazy thing here, and some of the other crazy ones, the old Punisher. You guys might remember the Punisher, and then some of the other the hunter tracker style knives I've done. But today I'm going to make one for this. Take you guys with me to get a better look at this thing before I move on. So the section here, you've got a nice thumb guard type here, and you've got a nice it's a breakaway from that. So just in the chopping edge of this section here, it's about 3 inches. You get about 3 inches of chop. So legally, for those of you that want to be able to carry something like this in a federal building, this would be, it'd be capable of carrying around as a pocket knife if you wanted to, because this thing does have some kind of edge to it. I wouldn't recommend it just be a knife, but you would have to give this a little bit. It does have an edge, but you would have to give it a little bit more edge to classify it as a knife. Now back here you've got about a little over 4 inches about for grippage. 4 inches is good. And then you've got your overall length. So I think we're right at pretty much 8 inches. So overall you're looking at about 8 inches. Now let's take this thing and split something in half with it. Let's chop some wood. I want to see if it'll chop some wood for me, just out of curiosity. You know how I am. Let's do some batoning. You could easily split something like this due to the fact that it's so, you know what I mean? But what if you wanted to, say, split something like this in smaller pieces? Bring that in. Now you got your nice piece of kindling there. I don't want to confuse anyone while I'm cutting and slicing pieces of leather, and it's just going to be pointless because I have to think this stuff out before I even get going into this, so I have to cut everything out. Now, I want to use, well, these are some type of cigarette tins, and you can take them and you can flatten them out on the back side so they're not divoted. So this is one that's divoted. This is one that's not divoted. So, but it saves you a little bit more room. Still got this one I got to do. I like Altoids tins of all the different shapes and sizes. I also like incorporating stuff like this just because it's unusual. Gives you the same space, same purpose, same use, and you just basically spread everything out instead of stacking it. So it just makes things a little bit easier. Now, the kind of design I'm going with is a little bit unusual for some people. So I just want to take you to what I've got here. Now, I've measured this across to exceed the amount of the tin. So this being right about, you know, a little over 3 inches. And then my width here went to almost 5 inches. It's about, a little over 4.5. So just to make up the room for the stitching that I'm going to do. And I'm going to use something unusual. I like doing the cross stitch and stuff because it kind of adds a little art and it makes it just as much durable doing it that way. Now, real simple. You would fold this piece, and I already put my little dot and tick lines right there to make sure I'm going in the right direction. So you bring this together, your tins will be in here, and you can put in a like a retrieving line. So what I like to do with these tins, until I get the leather broke in, I like to keep little retrieving lines in there. So before it reaches that stage, because you got to break in leather a little bit to kind of loosen it up, and then you know, after that's done, then you can just pretty much just shake it and they'll fall right out. But I'm going to put some retrieving lines in there to start off with. This would be here, and this will be all nice and stitched up. I want this to be a flap that comes over the top of this, and I want the Rogan tool to be in this, right about here. I want that to be its storage right there. And I go ahead and I do my artwork, because once I get the dye and everything on there, you're not going to see that as clear. And then you're going to wonder, what the heck did I do? So I did some kind of Celtic knot work there, and then bring this into right to the edge. And then I wanted to do the death compass was what I wanted to do down here. I just thought that was cool. I want to incorporate that into the base down here, and it's going to be your strap. So what will happen, you need to get to your tins. This will slide open, and you can retrieve your tins, and your Rogan tool will be right in here, and that'll be your recovery strap, your little strap for that. Anyways, so I've got to load these up. So let's go over here and check these out. All that stitching and stuff is going to take quite some time. So now I've got a variety of stuff here. I've got 2 tins to fill up, and I know people like this part of it for survival. What kind of gear would you go with this type of thing? Now, it is what it is. It serves its purpose. You can use it for fighting, digging. You can dig yourself a hole with it. You can use it for splitting logs. There's a variety of uses for it. It just doesn't have a solid straight point to it for stabbing, but you can still use it for many other things. You can even sharpen it up, even razor sharp, to pretty much make it a knife. Now, that being said, I wanted to incorporate like a mini pocket knife, kind of like this little guy here. And these things will all go in there. And this one here needs to get bent. I wanted to take this out and put it on my flattener here and flatten that out. But I can do that in a minute. This guy here's already done. But the way that would work, it just slides right in there. And you can even incorporate a flashlight. You could do an O-light. It is Christmas time, so I went with the Christmas O-light. Hope that's not too much for Christmas O-light. And, you know, you can incorporate a whistle. You've got plenty of room in here to throw a compass. You can do a full-size compass, kind of throw that off to the side. You probably don't even need that lanyard there. You got plenty of room for that. There's plenty of room in there for all kinds of stuff. You can incorporate, let's see, the Tactica. I wonder if the Tactica would fit in there. Probably got to move some stuff around. But you could probably put the Tactica in there. Tactica would fit in there. Just along those lines, right there. And a Tactica works, it has a ferrule rod. This tool here works in all the same ways as this tool would work, except it doesn't have that saw on it. That's the reason why I left this out. I wanted to kind of explain. Works in the same lines as this. This and this are close to being the same. And it also has a cutting edge inside there for cutting and everything else. It has a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. And it also works in the same for finding your direction as well, and time and all that. So it works the same way as that. It's just a little bit lighter than this, believe it or not. And it comes with a ferrule rod, so that's the reason why I'm going with that. Once you learn how to use weird stuff like that, you just kind of start incorporating it. It's like, you know, it saves a little bit more room. There's my Ranger bands for closing everything up. There's a little bit of room in there, so I can still kind of pull this out, and then I can incorporate. Now, I got to be careful. You got the flashlight in here with the compass. I know that. So someone's going to be like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Get yourself some jute cord that's soaked in beeswax, and you can incorporate that however you want. Just kind of shove it in there somewhere. I'm still keeping that extra line in there just in case I need it. And you've got plenty of room in there. You should be able to incorporate. Might save these for the other box. I don't want to cram too much in here. I just kind of want to separate some stuff. I want to put my matches in with here. In this kit here. I just kind of want to put this stuff together like that. That way there's some sort of fire-related aspect to that. I know. I'm fiddling again, aren't I? I hate it when I do that. Alright. And I think you can even, I mean, there's probably room in some of these things to be able to stuff multiple. There's that. Let's go ahead and fit that back in there again. Let's just get that out of the way. And you would put your Ranger band right over that. Just your bike inner tube. It's just cut. And slide that off to the side. And then with this one here, I'm not really too worried about punching that thing out too bad. Should hold everything I need. Got some duct tape. Got some aqua tabs for water purification. I need to get a transpiration bag, or a type of bag for that. I didn't grab my other baggie. I know I've got so much stuff in these. It's hard to keep track of exactly what I've got there. There we go. Got a couple of bags here. I can just use these as my transpiration bag. And you could use that on a tree limb or something like that, or you could just use those as whatever. Let's just fold that up. I'll try and make some room in here. I know. All that folding and stuff you got to do. So it would go something like that. And that's not really going to stay down yet until I get more items in there. So let's just save that for last. There's a survival saw. This you just wrap around a tree and just give it a tug back and forth. I've got a couple of these. These are cotton and beeswax. And a fishing kit. Sewing kit. And this is Grimworks. This is their signature edition. It has like all of the Grim tools inside of it. I want to find something that would suit me for what I'm going to be doing. And there's so many of these, and they're really great. Really great. You can put them right back where they came. I just want to find something that I might actually want to use. Something for making a spear and sewing, and it also has a knife. So that would be exactly what I would want in there. So that works great. Fits great. That's what I'm going to go with. There's so many of these in here. As I do the channel, as I keep going with the channel here, and as I keep making stuff, I'm going to keep grabbing from one of these decks in here and putting them in kits. I think that's cool. Then you don't keep all your eggs in one basket. Isn't that kind of a prepper motto there? Don't want to keep all your eggs in the same basket. All right, so I've got my... I'm going to fold that. It's going to fit. Just like that. There we go. And I'm going to take this guy here, and you're going to hold it down. Just the way I want it. There we go. Ta-da! Now, incorporate my fishing kit. In the event my 2 hooks get lost in the dirt. You ever think about that? You got all these tiny little survival items, and you drop one item somewhere, and it's gone forever. And then you're like, oh man, so much for that idea. There's a couple of those. I'm just trying to scrunch this fishing kit. It's the key thing here, is trying to get it all shoved into one little area right there. That's all that. Sewing kit. This guy here, I probably should have put that survival. This. Now, how will I get this in there, you wonder? Alright. You all just stay right there for a second. I'm going to have to roll this guy up again like it was. You just roll this guy up. You can take these off. They don't have to be on there. You can use paracord. So that's going to take up a lot of room. So just go ahead and get rid of those. You don't need the little key rings. Come here, you. Let's get rid of that. Too much added weight. Now, we're going to shove you in there. I know, it's everywhere. I just had all this nice and organized. Alright, get your butt with the fishing kit. Just right there. There it is. I'm just kind of holding it down, and then I'm going to add these guys. I know I always add too much fire kit. I always end up taking one out. Being this guy too. Go ahead and pre-break it, it won't hurt nothing. Get in place. There we go. And success. Haha. You didn't think I was going to make it, did you? You were doubting. You were like, you were probably thinking to yourself, man, you could take a little bit of that stuff out. Why don't you go with a different tin? And there's the other one. I got 1 and 2, and I am ready to load those suckers in. We're just going to use saddle tan because it'll come out nice and light. Now, if you want an aged look, you do like I do here. I add little puddles onto my table, and then I flip it over onto it, and it would add these lines and wear marks. I do that on purpose. This is another example. If you want more like a burn on the side, you're going to add that to extra. It's just going to be extra. If you double up the dye, it'll make it darker. Get it all stitched up. And like I said, for here, I wanted to go, you just kind of loop. You go from one to the other, loop over, you pull through, loop over, and you go all the way down, and then you just come right back and do the same thing, just next hole up, all the way back, and then you'll do that same thing on the other side. Kind of gives it that crazy look. That's what I wanted to go for. And then
with this, it just simply works just like that. Now, I got to finish the wrap on this handle. Now, I was thinking in the event I end up taking, because I'm going to take the paracord off if I ever need it, and you'll take that paracord off, and then there won't be anything here. So I was considering using some goon tape, something to go here, like the camo goon tape. I thought about doing that. That way there's at least something to grab onto. Here we go. This stuff here, it's not really name brand goon tape. I think I have this on the Amazon store. This stuff's highly flammable too. It's another thing. That should be enough. Hopefully I don't mess myself over here. Let's just go ahead and let's just get this where it's nice and even. We're just going to do one layer because I don't want it being really thick, take up too much room. Just something short, nothing crazy. Just gotta kind of, it's very flexible. You just have to make a couple of passes. Very sticky stuff too. Most people use it on firearms, but I'll use it on axe handles and things like that that are got a little bit of dirt there. It ain't gonna matter, it's gonna be hidden. But I just need it to go to right about there. Stuff is super sticky, like I said. Alright, that should do the trick. Now I just want to, let's just tear that off. Save that little piece. Gosh. Stuff is super sticky. Alright, so now I gotta, in the event I end up losing the paracord for other reasons, I'll have something to use. Now I just need to get some paracord out. Now when I say paracord, this isn't the typical stuff you use in a parachute, because this stuff has the fire, fishing line, and snare wire. And this is about, it supports more than 550 pounds. It's like 750 pound cord. So it's a little bit stronger, and it's something you can break up. Now to measure this, you just want to wrap it once just to make sure you're going to have enough to make your, complete your task. You're just whipping it on there real quick. Nothing fancy. And I'll show you how to do a proper wrap. I just want to see if I've got enough cut off here to do what I need to do. And then your excess can come through this hole here. Okay. So that should be the exact amount. I just need to cut that off. And one more thing to explain while I'm doing this that I don't really get a chance to talk about. But this thing will come out. There we go. Now you always think that your butane is low when you're using a butane lighter, but cold makes butane not work. You ever had that problem? Yeah, butane doesn't work in the cold. For those of you that pack cigarette lighters and things like that, thinking that's going to save you, you've got to get it warmed up, or it's not going to do anything. I'm just burning the ends of this just for now, because I don't technically I don't have to do this yet, but I'm just doing it to keep it from unraveling while I'm working. And hopefully none of it comes unraveled. I had to take it out of that case. I like this UCO. Yeah, as you were. It's a UCO. But it goes in this case, but it works better when I take it out and I warm it up. Alright, now I can take all this off. Probably going to want to sit down for this. Alright, here goes. I don't care if the video's long. because some people don't know how to do this stuff, and somebody wants to know how to do it. All right, one thing you're going to want to do, you're going to pull, you're going to use one as a pull to tighten your end up when you're done. Now, you're going to want to put this probably on the other side if you're going to be running your cord through there. So what you do is just get it along the line there. Or the other thing you can do, if you feeling fancy, you could come through here with your pull end. That way you can make a nice lanyard on the end and still have your pull end, and you can do all your cleanup. That's going to be your pull end. You're going to need to be able to pull that, and you might have to use pliers to do that. And then you can take this end here and you can use that on the other side when you come back up. Now, there's so many ways of doing this, but what I would recommend is just keep it simple. That way you don't screw it up. So I do all kinds of these weird things. So I'm going to bring this down right about here, and that's just going to kind of stick out the top there. You want it to be able to go all the way to the bottom, otherwise you're going to have problems if you lose like that. You bring this one over the top, it kind of pinches that and keeps it in place. Keep it all nice and together. Then just bring this over. Now, the other thing you can do, just kind of take this and kind of pull it a little bit. That's why you want to go over the top of it first, otherwise it's going to have that gap at the top, and you don't want the gap. So now, once you get it tight, you can crank it as hard as you want and just keep rolling it. Now, it's got that tape on there. It's definitely not going to roll or slide once that's on there. Now, let's hope I measured this right so it doesn't end up one big mess or too short. You don't want it to be too short. You want it to have a nice handle for when you are using it and you're not having to waste paracord. But it's just good to know that you've got it with you if you need to sacrifice your comfort for a different type of comfort like shelter. Because the one thing that you can say, like when you're putting together a survival kit, the one thing that is so hard to gather, you'll have people that are like, I'm going to put something in there for cooking food, like a metal container, or I'm going to pack a skillet, or, you know, they just start packing all kinds of funny stuff that just, it needs to have multiple uses if you're going to pack it. Everything should be able to be used two different ways. Cordage has many uses, and cordage is the one thing that's so hard to obtain when you're out in the wild or wherever it is you are. Cordage is so hard to obtain. So if you can pack cordage, that is the number one thing you should probably focus on, other than water and food, things like that. So cordage is definitely important because it definitely helps repair stuff, build shelter, and if you can make your own cordage, then that's another skill. It's good to have. I'm almost at the end. I have to crank real hard on this thing. It's actually hurting my hands, but you got to get it real tight. Otherwise, now I got to make sure I've got enough at the end here. Where's my poker? This will probably work better. I'll use that to kind of crank that up a little bit. Give me a little bit more room. Because once I get down here, I'm just making sure I don't pull that other end out. Now, I can take this. Kind of wiggle. Get in there. There's my poker again. Get your butt in there. Give me a hard time. Just pull that guy through there. Now, I can make a separate lanyard. I don't have to, you know what I mean? I can just keep that, and I can make a wrist lanyard as well. Now I just want to get some pliers real quick. I don't like losing my grip, so I want to use something that grabs a hold and I don't have any issues. See what I mean? I might even have to use the vise. I've got this thing real tight. Now you could pull that all the way through. I almost did. I could pull it all the way through if I wanted to. It ain't going anywhere. That thing is there. And I can just kind of make sure it's all tight around the end down here. That's pretty much it. I don't like that I pulled the knot through, but oh well. It is what it is. Now I can just cut off this, and I'll just burn that. And I can even tuck in whatever I don't like. If I don't like it for some reason. See, it's getting cold again. You gotta warm it up. Warm the plastic up. I swear it's not low. You need to try it sometime in like a 20 degrees outside, or a heck freaking 30 degrees outside. Just give it a try. Take a lighter out there. Just leave it setting for about 5 minutes and see if you can get it to move. Very carefully do this so you don't cut this cord. You just get it hot, press it in there. Now you got a nice wrap, and that thing feels nice and comfy. It's a very good wrap. Now I just have to put the rest of this together. I'm probably going to I'll probably do a lanyard here. I might actually go with OD green for that, just so it kind of blends. There we go. OD green wrist lanyard. Like how it's got that little bit of red cord coming out of it. Get your wrist in there. Now you won't lose it. Went in there like a glove. See, I've got this in there, and that fits perfect. And then I've got my lanyard to pull my tins out. Got my tins in there, and I just take this thing here and just tuck it in. And that's extra cordage, right? And I can just slide this guy in there. It's going to require a little bit of stretching, I'm sure, but it'll all break in. Like I said, you're just going to have to kind of stretch things around. Just tuck that guy in. Requires a little bit of stretching, but I've got it all down. It's back where it was. Look at that. I'll be damned. Wasn't that cool? That's fracking crazy. Oh, you might want to know what I did for hanging. I've got a lanyard here. You can put it through your belt, and you can put it through this way, so it goes 2 different directions. I didn't get a chance to show that, but I was coming up with a way to hang it so you can run a belt through it this way, you can run a belt through it that way, you can hang it like this. You don't have to hang it like up and down like that, because I figured it might get in someone's way. You can scout carry it as well. I figured that'd be kind of cool, you know, off your backpack. This would be something you put on your pack or something like that. But there she is. Gotta take it outside, see how it looks out in the sun. Very sunny out here. It's very cloudy. Check that out. It's pretty cool. It's not real heavy. That's cool. Trying to get so you can take a better look at it. It's a neat little kit. Oh, if you guys enjoyed it, gave you some ideas, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And God bless. Take care. Stay safe.